All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Blessed be our Father, Yahuwah Elohim Almighty. Blessed be the Ruach HaKodesh and our Messiah, Yahushua Mashiach. Greetings to all Yazarel worldwide. And of course, I have another message that I'd like to share with the listening ears of Yah's people. And family, this one here will be called, As Yah gathers Yazarel, the remnant, he displays anger and wrath against 83's nations. And I'll be coming out to 66 and the Apocrypha from the book of Maccabees. But I want to play some of this song just to send up some praises to our Father before I get started with the message. And it is called Praise the Eternal by Christopher Jasper. You spoke the word, and man appeared from the depths of earth, made in your image. Then you planted a garden for him to live, and over all the animals you gave him dominion. Then you made for him a woman to love and to cherish, and to become as one most high. Great is your name, and the light of my life. You make me sing when I'm feeling blue. You made a promise to be faithful and true. Praise the eternal. I love you. Oh, you sent the word to show the way, so full of knowledge and full of grace. That's a beautiful song. Beautiful song. I love it. Hey, family. Now, many of us know that there are many scriptures pertaining to the gathering of Yazarel, but I'm not going to read all those. But in case somebody out there watching this video don't know what those scriptures are, I'm going to give you a few of them here. You can read on your own, okay? Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3 and 4, I'm sorry. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3 and 4. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 10. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 10. Ezekiel chapter 37, verses 21 to 22. Amos chapter 9, verses 14. And Matthew chapter 24, verse 29 to 31. Mark chapter 13, verse 27. Okay, but I will be reading from the book of Isaiah first. Isaiah chapter 11. From 1 to 16, family. And also what I want everybody to see in this message, that not only do our Father Yah display anger and wrath against the nations while this gathering of Israel, Yazarel, is going on, but I want to show you guys something else in the book of Maccabees that when it speaks about and the heathen, you know, when they went to paint, you know, their images over the people in the Torah. So I want to speak on that. And see, our ancestors went through the same thing, you know, and we, Yazarel today, The same thing the Gentiles did then when our ancestors was, with Yah, with the covenant first. And now, the offspring of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who Yah has this covenant with, not the Gentiles, not Esau, but the covenant is with Yazarel. So, but you still have some from Psalm 83, Edomites and Gentiles, who hijacked our scriptures, claiming our ancestors as their own, claiming our history as their own, and, just lying in the name of Yah, So that is blasphemy. So, we deal with Gentiles and Esau doing that even in 2026. Our ancestors dealt with it, thousands of years ago. The same thing. So nothing's new under the sun, family. But I'm going to show you what our ancestors did, okay, when they came across those scriptures, okay? So that'll be after I read out of the book of Isaiah. Okay, now, like I said, I'll be reading from Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 to 16. And it says here, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and the branch shall grow out of his roots, and the spirit of the Adonai shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Adonai, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Adonai. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the riot of his mouth. And with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. During that time, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together. And the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the suckling child shall play on the hole of the apse. And the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Adonai, as the waters cover the sea. And in that day shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Adonai shall set his hand against the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Yazarel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. That will be north, south, east, and west, family. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. It will be peace among Yazarel, the remnant, during that time, because our Messiah will be in the midst of us. Okay? But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. The Philistines are Hamites. And it says they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines. So that lets us know that the Philistines, the Hamites, will be serving Yazarel. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. Now, what nation of people in the world today are obeying Yazarel, are obeying Negroes? That will be no nation. But during this time, they will be obeying us. And the children of Ammon shall obey them. Matter of fact, all nations who our Father and Yahuwah allowed to be in his kingdom on this earth, they all will be serving Yazarel. Read Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12, and you'll see that all those nations that don't serve Yazarel, they shall be slaughtered, they shall be utterly wasted. As I continue, verse 15 says, and the Adonai shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, that will be the Suez Canal, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Yazarel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. Okay, now family, Isaiah chapter 12, verse 4, 5, and 6. And in that day shall ye say, praise the Adonai, call upon his name, declare his doings among the people, make mention that his name is exalted, sing unto the Adonai, for he hath done excellent things. This is known in all the earth. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion. Great is the Holy One of Yazarel in the midst of thee. You see the saying? He will be in the midst of Yazarel during this time. For great is the Holy One of Yazarel in the midst of thee. He will be in the midst of us. Okay, family. Now, Isaiah chapter 13. That was Isaiah chapter 12, verse 46. Now, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4 to 11. And it says this: the noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Adonai of hosts mustered the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Adonai, and the weapons of his indignation, that's anger, indignation, to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Adonai is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Adonai cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the rural for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. These are the words of the Most High. Okay, now family, I'll be going to the book of Isaiah chapter 14, verses 1 and 2. And y'all already know what this is saying. We're talking about during the gathering of Yazarel. It's still during that time that Yah has anger against the nations. That will be Psalm 83. Okay? Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob. That will be the 12 tribes of Israel, that remnant, and will yet choose Yazarel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Yazarel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So we know the future of these people because it is written. We know the future of Yazarel because it is written that our Messiah will be in the midst of us ruling all nations with a rod of iron for 1,000 years on this earth. Okay, now family, I'll be going over to the book of Maccabees, but I'll be coming back to the 66 because I have another scripture and I'll be closing out in the book of Psalms. But right now, I'll be going over to Maccabees. I'll be starting in chapter 3. Chapter 3, verse 45. We're going all the way to 60. Okay, family, here we go. Now, Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob. And the pipe with the harp ceased. Wherefore Yazarel assembled themselves together and came to Mizpah over against Jerusalem, for in Mizpah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Yazarel. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and rent their clothes and laid open the Sefer of the Torah, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. They brought also the priests' garments, and the first fruits, and the tithes, and the Nazarim they stirred up, who had accomplished their days. Then cried they with a loud voice toward heaven, saying, What shall we do with these, and whither shall we carry them away? For your sanctuary is trodden down and profane, and your priests are in heaviness and brought low. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us, you know. They talking to our Father Yah. How shall we be able to stand against them, except you, O Elohim, be our help? See, our ancestors back in the day, they always only depended on Yah, Father Yah, Yahuwah. They never depended on no coalition of no nations in the world, like many Psalm 83 nations do today. But see, the word of Yah tells us, if Yah be for us, then who can be against us? Our ancestors, before they fell, they never depended on no coalition of nations to help them fight any wars. Our people always depended on Yahuwah. And that's what we, the remnant, are doing now, going back to what our ancestors did with our father Yahuwah before they fell. The covenant is with Yazarel, not Gentiles, not with Esau, not with Psalm 83. They only became on top because our people fell and we were cast down to the tail just for a time. But we have suffered the punishment of our curses, and our Father is bringing Psalm 83 down slowly but surely. And eventually, because it is written, our Messiah is going to be sent back here and rule all nations with a rod of iron in the midst of Yazarel, and all nations who are allowed to be a part of his kingdom, they will serve Yazarel, or they will be utterly wasted. According to Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12. As I continue, family, how shall we be able to stand against them except, O you, O Elohim, be our help? Then sounded they the shofars, blowing those horns, okay? Like some of our people are doing now, coming back to the things that our ancestors did, because we thank Father Yah for our awakening. To him be the glory, honor, and the praise. Then sounded they the shofars and cried with a loud voice, and after this Yehudah ordered captains over the people, even captains over thousands and over hundreds and over fifties and over tens. That sounds like some organized people to me. They see a problem with what the heathens were doing. They humbled themselves. Then they prayed to our Father. Now they're sectioning off thousands, hundreds, because they're preparing to go to war. Okay? That sounds like an organized group of people to me. Okay? But as for such as were building houses, or had betrothed women who were engaged to be married, or were planting vineyards, or were fearful, those he commanded that they should return every man to his own house, according to the Torah. So the camp removed and pitched upon the south side of Yemim. And Yehuda said, arm yourselves and be valiant men, and see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations that are assembled together against us to destroy us and our sanctuary. For it is better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people and our sanctuary. Nevertheless, as the will of Elohim is in heaven, so let him do. Then Georgius took 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night, to the end he might rush in upon the camp of Yahudim and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guides. Now when Yehuda heard, therefore, he himself removed, and the valiant men with him, that he might smite the king's army, which was at Yemim. While as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. In the mean season, Camp Gorgias by night into the camp of Yehuda, and when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountains. For said he, these fellows flee from us. But as soon as it was day, Yehuda showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men, who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords to their minds. And they saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with horsemen, and these were expert of war. Then said Yehuda to the men that were with him, fear ye not their multitude, neither be ye afraid of their assault. Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with an army. Now therefore let us cry to heaven, if perchance Yahuwah will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this host before our face this day. They seek to pray to our Father, not try to go get some help from any nations in the world. Our people never did that. They always depended on Yahuwah. Okay? That so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivers and saves Yazarel. Then the strangers lifted up their faces and their eyes, and saw them coming over against them. Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Yehuda sounded their shofars. So they joined battle, and the heathen, being discomfited, fled into the plain. Howbeit all the hindmost of them were slain with the sword. Those ones in the back that didn't get away fast enough, they got slain with the sword, it's saying here. For they pursued them to Gazam, and to the plains of Edom and Ashdod and Yanil, so that there were slain of them upon 3,000 men. This done, Yehuda returned again with his host, from pursuing them, and said to the people, be not greedy of the spoils, inasmuch as there is a battle before us, and Gorgias and his host are here by us in the mountains. But stand ye now against our enemies and overcome them, and after this ye may boldly take the spoils. As Yehuda was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of them looking out of the mountains, who when they perceived that the Yahudim had put their host to flight and were burning the tents, for the smoke that was seen declared what was done. When therefore they perceived these things, they were sore afraid, and seeing also the host of Yehuda in the plain ready to fight, they fled every one into the land of strangers. Then Yahudim returned to spoil the tents, where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and purple of the sea, and great riches. After this they went home and sung a song of thanksgiving and praise Yahuwah in heaven, because he is good, because his mercy endureth forever. Thus Yazarel has a great deliverance that day. Okay, they praise Yahuwah in heaven because Yazarel had a great deliverance that day. Yes, they did, because they prayed to our Father. They depended on him. And that's what we need to do, only depend on our Father, family. That's it. And have faith that he will see us through whatever we go through. And those who are so wicked and evil, led by evil spirits, and they're always trying to do things wicked, mischievous against us to get a reaction, to get our energy. I'm saying, family, just ignore them. These people, they can't help it because they got them demons y'all placed among them to lead them astray from him. Those evil spirits are leading them. So they do things to try to get a reaction from us and get our energy, because they can't sleep unless they're doing something wicked. So let's don't give them no more of our energy. Let's don't give them no more of our attention. Okay? Let's ignore them. That's how you do demons. It said, submit to Elohim, resist the devil, and he'll flee. Same thing with the people that are being led by the same spirits, evil spirits. Okay, family, I'll be closing out in the book of Psalms, chapter 139, from verse 1 to 9. And it says here, praise ye the Adonai. Sing unto the Adonai a new song. And watch the distinction when it's talking about his people as opposed to the enemies, the heathen. Okay, family? And his praise in the congregation of the saints. Let Yazarel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the thimble and the harp. For the Adonai taketh pleasure in his people. That will be Yazarel, okay? He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. That also will be the Yazarel. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of Elohim be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, the nations. Psalm 83, stacked up against Yazarel. Okay? And punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. That was shackles of iron. That's what fetters are. To execute upon them the judgment written. See, we know their future as well as our own because it is written. We know their future. You know what I'm saying? So the lies they used to tell us when we were still under the curses, we believed anything they said. But now, since our Father has awakened us by giving us the Ruach HaKodesh, and everything has been brought back to our remembrance, and we have awakened in the land of our captors, we don't listen to their lies no more. Even the videos, they try to put their own images into place, trying to tell our story, but put their images into place. I don't pay no attention to those videos. I look at it for a while, for a minute, but not if they got the wrong images there, because they still trying to make people who watch their videos think that the scriptures is talking about them. So I bypass those, and then some of them they might have King David and a brother as a brother, like he should be, because he was black, and characters in the Bible like him, the prophet Samuel or something, and then they'll try to have a Caucasian Yahusha, a white Jesus. Man, get out of here with that crap. You know what I'm saying? They're still trying to deceive you. No, they have nothing to do with these scriptures and our Messiah and Yahuwah, our Father Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with no Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with them. They still try to tell our story and place themselves, their images, in place of the real people. They the one came up with that lie, white and black and red and brown crap. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like back in the biblical days, people were identified and recognized by the nation they came from. Our people were known as the Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? And then when they came out of Egypt and in the wilderness, they became the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew Israelites. And just like the Egyptians were always known as the Egyptians. If you was from Moab, those were the Moabites. If you was from Ammon, the Ammonites, and so forth. It had nothing to do with your skin color. And all that came later. Satan gave ideas to the abominable church, the Roman Catholic Church, and those in Portugal and Spain, And they took that and ran with it just to keep people divided. You know, divide and conquer. That's all it was, a scheme from the devil that he gave the abominable church. And it's still going on in these wicked societies today. Psalm 83. But to let them have their fun. This is their kingdom. This is their heaven. And when it is over, they will serve Yazarel. But most people from Psalm 83, and actually 2/3 of Yazarel, won't make it. So a remnant from the nations and a remnant of Yazarel will be in Yahushua Mashiach's kingdom as he rules it with the rod of iron in the midst of his people, Yazarel, as they serve us, just as we served them for centuries in Esau's kingdom. Okay, family, so that's what I wanted to share. And it was entitled, As Yah Gathers Yazarel, the Remnant, he displays anger and wrath against 83's nation. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brother Judah Israel. Family, I hope you got some understanding in Yah's precious name. I love every last one of you because you're my brothers and sisters in Yah. Okay, so until next time, one love and shalom.